Today's editorial is all about a crisis in the north. If you take our country, what is that crisis? The editorial names it a torrid crisis, and it goes with the heat waves. Before we go to the editorial analysis, a quick look at the question: what is the enrichment from today's session? You will improve your comprehension skill, your vocabulary. Some important words are there: grammar consolidation, effective English, mini mocks and descriptive English not here, and vocab consolidation. Whatever words you got yesterday, you're going to consolidate. Now, let us ask the question: what is this editorial about? When you ask the question, what is this editorial about? The editorial discusses a severe heat wave crisis affecting northern India, suggesting that it should be classified as a natural disaster. As I said, it is about a crisis in the north. What is the crisis? Extension of the summer, heat waves, and this heat wave crisis affecting northern India. Based on that, the editorial takes a stand and suggests it should be classified as a natural disaster. What is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is urgent and concerned. Urgent based on the situation, and concerned again based on the situation, the plight of those who have been exposed to the heat wave. Let us go to the editorial vocabulary. As I said, some new and important words are there. The very first word, torrid. Torrid adjective, meaning very hot and dry, full of difficulty or tribulation. The torrid desert climate made survival extremely challenging, obviously. Scorching, sweltering, ardent, fervent. All these words are important, you have to remember. All the four synonyms important. Antonyms: cold, frigid, cool. Bear the brunt, an important idiom. Bear the brunt means what? To endure the worst part of something unpleasant. Imagine you experience something unpleasant and you have to bear the worst part of that. Then we say you have to bear the brunt of that. The small town bore the brunt of the hurricane, suffering severe damage. Here, bear, bore. You have to look at the past form. Got to be careful. The small town bore the brunt of the hurricane, suffering severe damage. Endure, suffer, take the main force or main problem, withstand. Avoid, evade, escape. Evade, an important word. Sluggish. Sluggish goes with usually a snail is sluggish, very slow, lethargic. Adjective: lacking energy or alertness, slow moving or inactive. After the long flight, I felt sluggish and needed a nap. Nap means a short sleep. Short sleep taken in the afternoon, usually after lunch. Lethargic, slow, inactive, listless. We don't use a word here. Better word, lethargic. Energetic, lively, active, brisk. Brisk is an important word. It goes with two combinations. One, brisk walk. The other one, brisk business. Both the combinations are important, you have to remember. And coming to lively, if you take some people, they're very active, dynamic, social. Catnap also you can say, Pallu, good. And if there's a girl who is quite active, then there's one idiom. What is that? We say she is a live wire. What do we say? She is a live wire. An important idiom. Insight. You got to be careful. There are two important words. One is insight, the other one, insight. Insight, the first one, it means instigate, an important word, but a common word, provoke. Make someone do something. Instigate or provoke, insight, one. Negative word. On the other hand, we have insight, means what? To understand, to get the deep understanding of something. The capacity to gain an accurate and deep understanding of someone or something. I would like to, yesterday we got it, Nagesh, you're right, the other platform. Imagine I provide insight into a particular subject, means what? I provide deep understanding into that subject. Her insight into human behavior helped her become a successful therapist. Her deep understanding into human behavior helped her become a successful therapist. Synonyms: understanding, perception, awareness, acumen. I've got we have come across after many months or years perhaps. Acumen means it goes with business context. Business acumen means sharpness, shrewdness. Do remember the context, the combination? Business acumen, a different meaning altogether. It is a sharpness and also shrewdness. But in a way, it goes with deep understanding. Only then you can be sharp or you can be shrewd. Antonyms: ignorance, misunderstanding, unawareness. Hiatus. Hiatus, an important word I think we have got for the first time. A pause or gap in a sequence, series, or process. If something has been going on, then there is a gap. We say hiatus. The television show went on a hiatus during the summer months. Means there was a break. Break, interruption, pause, intermission. Continuation, persistence, continuity. When it comes to interruption, you have to think of a particular phrasal verb. What is that? Break in. Break in means to interrupt. Don't break in while I'm speaking. Usually we say that. Compound can be a noun, can be an adjective, can be a verb. In this context, it is a verb. To make something worse by adding to it, to combine elements to form a whole. One is combining elements to form a whole, but here compounded, the problems have been compounded, means what? The number has multiplied. His lack of sleep compounded the difficulty of his tasks, added to the existing problems. Aggravate, worsen, intensify, combine. Alleviate, reduce, separate, divide. The moment you see the word alleviate, you have to recollect words like mitigate and also assuage. Yes. Pilferage. When I talk about theft, theft is on a large scale, robbery, bigger. But at home, imagine, usually it's a general statement. A maid servant may take a little salt, a little sugar, and then we say it is known as pilferage, the act of stealing small amounts or small articles. The store implemented security cameras to reduce pilferage. Theft, stealing, larceny, we have got for the first time an important word you have to remember. Purloining, we have got for the first time. I don't know how many of you are preparing for SSC, but I would like to say the last two words they go with SSC. They take words which are not in usage, hardly we come across, they give in the exam. I myself have never seen larceny and purloining. We have come across for the first time, in my opinion, important words. A return gift donation, not exactly. Exacerbate, an important word they have given in bank exams many a time, part of speech verb. Make a problem, bad situation, or negative feeling worse. Already a bad situation, it has been made worse, exacerbate. The cold weather exacerbated her arthritis pain, worsened her arthritis pain, worsened, aggravated, intensified, heightened. Alleviated, mitigated, lessened, eased, assuaged. One more word you have to think of. Let us go to the editorial. How does it start? A torrid crisis means related to heat waves, hot and dry, scorching heat, on heat waves in northern India. What is the main idea of this editorial? A prolonged summer should be classified as a natural disaster. Here, add fuel to the fire. Yes, should be classified. First, you have to know it is in passive voice, and before that, you have to know the functions of the helping verb should. It has two functions. What is the first one? It is used to advise or suggest to someone. Second one, it is used to express a possibility, but the chances are less. In this context, it is a suggestion or advice being given by the editorial. What is that? Based on the extension of the heat waves, should be classified. A prolonged summer, prolonged we have got many a time, extended, should be classified as a natural disaster. The word disaster, you all know, we have got many a time, an event that brings in great damage or damage to a great extent, that is known as disaster. Natural disaster, one word disaster, another word mishap, another word catastrophe. All these words you have to recollect. Any editorial that deals with a disaster, a problem, you have to ask pertinent questions like, what is this? What is this problem? Where is this problem? What are the reasons behind? What is the impact? Who is suffering? And what are the solutions? All these are pertinent questions, and editorial also touches the same questions. Let us see how it goes about. Northern India has been bearing the brunt. You have to respond, which tense is this? Present perfect continuous tense. Has been bearing the brunt, taking the worst part of the summer, of the longest stretch of heat waves in the last 15 years. If you take last 15 years, the worst period, worst summer you can say, and the North India has been bearing the brunt of it. To justify this statement, this is a statement. North India has been bearing the brunt of longest stretch of heat waves in the last 15 years. But writers, what they try to do, they try to first they make a statement and they try to yes, present perfect continuous. Very good, Tripura Sundari. I appreciate your response. They try to justify. To justify, you see the data. The minimum day temperatures in some states. Sometimes students ask me, sir, can we use the word temperature in the plural form? Why not? Temperature singular and temperatures plural. The minimum day temperatures in some states have consistently remained above 45 degrees Celsius. Have consistently remained. Present perfect tense, active voice above 45 degrees Celsius, and those in the relatively cooler ones at least 3 to 6 degrees Celsius above what is usual for this time of the year. That means the temperatures have gone up. Even night temperatures have consistently been. This is also present perfect tense active voice. We have used the primary auxiliary be in the past participle form in place of the main verb. Have consistently been 3 to 6 degrees Celsius above normal, even night temperatures. A consequence, what is the reason behind? A consequence of the near absence of moisture and rain. Two reasons, one lack of moisture, the other one lack of rain, a dry spell. To add to this, the monsoon has been sluggish. Has been sluggish. The writer has used present perfect active voice so many times. Has been sluggish. Talks about a particular state from the past to the present. After an early start, the monsoon has stalled. Stalled means what? Stop. Since June 12th, whenever you see the preposition since or for, you have to think of two tenses. What are the two tenses? One is present perfect tense, the other one is present perfect continuous. Here, has stalled, it is in present perfect active voice. Since June 12th, and is stuck in central India. It has been there for some time. Before its onset over Kerala, its onset, it's a possessive pronoun, and you have to recollect an important rule. What is that rule? Possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe, and there's no exception whatsoever. A common error those who are preparing for bank exams do remember, when it comes to letter writing, while closing the letter, they a lot of people, those who are good at English also, they try to close this way. This is wrong. If you make this mistake, you lose 2 marks. You are not supposed to use any apostrophe. Yours truly, yours sincerely. That you have to recollect. But when I tell this, some students ask the question, sir, we have seen something like this in newspapers and magazines. What about that expression? This is not a possessive pronoun. It is a short form of either it is or it has. And I would like to reiterate, do remember possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe, no exception whatsoever. Before its onset over Kerala, the India Meteorological Department had forecast. Before, that means a past incident. Based on that, had forecast, past perfect tense, forecast, all the forms same. Forecast, forecast, forecast. We have got so many times. the rainfall in June over India to be normal. Initial prediction, initial forecast, it the monsoon to be normal. It has now updated, change in the prediction. It has now updated that estimate to be below normal, or in quantitative terms, a minimum 8% shortfall over the month's expected quantum of 16.69 centimeters. It talks about initial prediction, normal, the latest prediction, below normal. In quantitative terms, what does it mean? 8% shortfall over the month's expected quantum of 16.69 centimeters. Numbers. This update, however, is not useful as it does not give an insight into the progress of the monsoon. It does not provide deep understanding into the progress of the monsoon or the movement of the monsoon. And here is not useful present tense, does not give present tense negative form. The normal dates of the monsoon's arrival over the northwestern and northern states are those spanning the June 25th, July 1st time frame. When it comes to north and northwestern states, what is the time period for the monsoon to spread? Here, span means a spread. The time frame June 25th to July 1st. Whether the monsoon's current hiatus will push these dates even further remains to be seen. Remains to be seen is passive voice. It talks about already heat waves got extended, summer got extended, prolonged summer. Based on that, whether the monsoon's current hiatus will push these dates even further, an important word, remains to be seen. We have to wait and expect the best. A prolonged hiatus could mean an even greater load on the infrastructure in these states. Now, the editorial touches what is the impact of this prolonged summer and extended heat waves and prolonged hiatus on infrastructure in these states. Infrastructure in this context, generally, when we talk about infrastructure, we talk about housing, roads, transportation, power, water. Now, education has been included. Education also comes under infrastructure. But power is an important factor that goes with infrastructure. Next two or three sentences talk about power problems based on this hiatus. On June 17, the Power Ministry said that demand in northern India had surged. Said that reporting verb is in past, then has changes to had surged, increased, sudden increase to 89 gigawatts, 89,000 megawatts, the highest in a single day. To meet this power requirement, nearly 25% to 30% had to be imported in past. Have to, an important helping verb. Third person singular, has to. What is the past form? Had to. What is the function? We use this helping verb to express an obligation imposed by an external authority or a situation. Here, a situation. To meet this power requirement, nearly 25 to 30% had to be imported from the other four regions. What are those regions? South, West, East, and Northeast, and possibly Bhutan. A precise breakup was not provided. The Power Ministry did not provide a precise breakup, active voice. The precise breakup was not provided. Accurate breakup was not provided. This is past tense passive voice. Though the ministry claimed credit in meeting the demand, it indirectly reveals a strain on the infrastructure. They met the demand, but indirectly it conveys something, a reveal. We have got so many times. What does it mean? Disclose. The strain, the stress on the infrastructure. They installed, to justify that statement, the installed power capacity in northern India is 113 gigawatts, 113,000 megawatts. And if the northern grid still needed to import power, it suggests an inability to utilize its full capacity. This goes, when you read between the lines, it is understood. Delhi's international airport had a half-hour blackout. Blackout means no power. That too, international airport. Delhi's international airport had a half-hour blackout on the same day, and it stands to reason that prolonged heat waves and demands on cooling. What are the reasons for the blackout, half-hour blackout? prolonged heat waves, one, and demands on cooling are only going to further strain the grid, exacerbate. Compounding this means adding fuel to the fire or making it worse. Compounding this is the water crisis that has gripped Delhi. Now, editorial slowly goes to water crisis. First power, then water. Both come under infrastructure. While water pilferage, stealing in small quantities, is a common woe, we have got many a time. A major reason of distress, you can simply say the word problem, major problem. The heat has exacerbated demand, and Haryana, a key source of water for Delhi, has refused to increase supply, citing its own constraints. Constraints we have got many a time. What does it mean? Limitations. Delhi gets water from Haryana. Now, Haryana has refused to increase supply. It has its own problems or limitations. This I'm really surprised. I told yesterday, whenever you use it is time, it is high time, you have to use a verb in the past form. Do you guys remember? Those who attended yesterday's session, I hope you remember. Today it is not in past. Then you should wonder. Master said in a crystal clear manner, categorically, when we use the clauses, it is time, it is high time, the verb should be in past. How come it is in present? Are you guys there? Ah, Nagesh, you were there, if I do remember. Yes, Durga Rao. How come? Do remember, languages are dynamic, they keep changing. Old, current, modern, or future. This is what we call modern English or current English. But exam point of view, we don't consider this. Exam point of view, we consider standard British English. Standard British English, when you use phrases like it is time or it is it is high time or it is time, you got to use a verb in past form. Had I been the writer, I would have used it is high time that politics was set aside. I would have done it. But languages, I tell students, family members wrong. The Hindu front page, you see family members. I tell students aircrafts wrong. The Hindu front page, you see aircrafts. All these come under, it doesn't mean that they don't know all these. They do know for sure. But languages are dynamic, they keep changing and they depend on current or modern English. Always remember that. We cannot question the Hindu paper. At the same time, we have to respect the standard British English. It is high time, I go with the exam, it is high time that politics was set aside and the prolonged summer is holistically, my favorite word, holistically addressed by the center and state as a natural disaster. Main idea is being reiterated. Editorial says it should be the prolonged summer, the extended heat wave should be considered or declared a natural disaster. And centers should take a holistic approach. I'm sure you all know the word holistic. I always tell students while preparing for competitive exams, you have to take a holistic approach. And what are the other words I usually write along with this? Exhaustive and also comprehensive. And there's one important idiom. What is it? Don't leave any stone unturned. While preparing for competitive exams, don't leave any stone unturned. You have to remember that. That's all about today's editorial. An important one you got to read twice, thrice to understand a few sentences. Let us go to comprehension skill, to what extent you could understand or comprehend this particular editorial. The very first one, how long is the current stretch of heat waves in northern India compared to the past? Don't leave any stone unturned. Yes, my favorite. I always tell students. The longest in 15 years, clearly mentioned, a question based on explicit information, easy to answer. All that you have to do, navigate, locate, you get the answer. What temperature conditions have been observed? Have been observed. present perfect passive voice. During the heat waves in northern India, temperature conditions, statistical data, below 40 degrees, above 45 degrees during the day, consistently below normal, unchanged from usual levels, then why should they write above 45 degrees Celsius during the day? Second one, also B is the answer, but don't go with the option number. Go with the what exactly the option says. What issue has compounded, exacerbated, made the situation worse? The heat wave crisis in northern India. Some issue has exacerbated or compounded the heat wave situation or heat wave disaster or crisis. What is that? Excessive rainfall? No way. A sluggish monsoon, severe cold waves, strong winds. Clearly mentioned, same word has been used. Sluggish monsoon, very slow, lethargic. By how much has the rainfall forecast for June been updated to show a shortfall? Initial normal, later below normal. And in terms of percentage, how much is that? What percentage? Clearly mentioned, easy to answer based on explicit information. 8%. Very good. Durga Rao, first one to respond. 8%. Pallu also. What was the power demand in northern India on June 17th? Does anyone remember? On a particular day, what was it? They expanded that in terms of megawatts also. If you remember that, you can answer easily. 5, I don't think so. It is 89, very good. Who is at 89? Dayakar. And also someone said Mahesh C. Yes, you're right. 89, and they expanded 8,90,000 something. That's all about the comprehension skill based questions. Now let us go to effective English. Idioms are very important, bank exams point of view, SSC point of view. Yes, that's right. To be in a quandary, they have given many a time an important one. Queer fish, SBI, they've given quixotic idea, they have given many a time. A rank and file, they have given many a time. To be in a quandary means what? To be in a difficult situation. Queer fish, a strange person, person with strange behavior. Eccentric, strange means eccentric, weird, based on that quixotic idea. Foolish idea. The word sounds very good, quixotic, but the meaning is disappointing. 5. A rainy days. Remember the season? Monsoon, rains, rainy days. Time of financial shortage. A rank and file, an important one. Common people. If you have got all the 5 correct, you should be extremely happy. All these go with effective English, important idioms. They have been given many a time in different competitive exams, especially SBI. Let us go to the last slide where you can consolidate your editorial vocabulary. The words you got yesterday. Yesterday we got some new words. The very first word you have to know for sure, trope. All the 5 correct. Very good. Durga Rao, Tripur Sundari. Our regular students are not there. Naidu, Paidi, Anusha, Mahesh also all the 5. Good. I appreciate that. Cliche. First one is what? Cliche. Hail has 3 different meanings. One of the meanings, based on the editorial context, salute, appreciate, admire, praise. Salient features means what? Important. Fractious, not fractious. Precious, delicious, fractious, conscious. Remember, means what? Irritable, annoying. Harness has 2 or 3 meanings. Utilize, exploit, take out, bring out. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. I think some of those who prefer bilingual have joined. That's why the number has gone up. Very good. See what happens here, one day Telugu, one day English. At least you understand the difference. And when it is in Telugu, obviously your comfort zone, you feel very happy. But if it is English today, obviously you understand what the standards are. You try to raise your standards, and 60% you can understand. Do remember. And 40% slowly try to raise your standards. That helps in the long run. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Do remember to subscribe and share.